You just got your acceptance letter to RMIT University's Master of Architecture. 2 years from now, you'll be standing in a building with a 3D printer wall, a laser cutter humming next to you, and a professor telling you your model looks conceptually interesting, which in architecture school could mean anything from genius to please start over. But right now you're just staring at a PDF, wondering if this is the best 2 years of your life or the most expensive nap you'll ever take. Let's find out together. Here's the thing nobody tells you before architecture school. Not all master's programs are built the same. Some are theory heavy, some are practice heavy, and some, like RMIT's MC163, are basically a boot camp for people who want to build real things in the real world with real deadlines. RMIT is fully accredited by the Architects Accreditation Council of Australia. Translation? This isn't a nice to have on your resume. It's a legitimate, registration-ready pathway to becoming a licensed architect. So let's walk through exactly what your next 2 years actually look like. First stop, getting accepted. And spoiler, RMIT isn't just checking your grades. You'll need an accredited architecture bachelor's degree plus 2 portfolios. A design portfolio showing 3 to 5 of your best university projects, and a technology portfolio showing you actually understand how buildings, don't fall down. English requirement: IELTS 6.5 overall, minimum 6.0 in each band. And a fun little detail, RMIT doesn't accept those online take it from your bedroom English tests. They want the real deal. If your portfolio is a mess of half-finished Revit files and one really good sketch from third year, don't panic. RMIT even publishes example portfolios so you know what good looks like before you submit. Picture your 2 years like this. Year 1, Semester 1. You land in Design Studio 7, an urban design deep dive, alongside a theory subject called The History of Now. Yes, that's really the name. Very architecture of it. And a technology course on sustainable building systems. Year 1, Semester 2. Studio gets more complex, and you start Professional Practice 1, where you learn the boring but crucial stuff: contracts, ethics, how not to get sued. Year 2, Semester 3. Design Studio 9 tackles community and infrastructure projects, plus Professional Practice 2 and your second elective. Year 2, Semester 4. This is it, the major project. Your own individual design thesis. 36 credit points of prove you can do this on your own. 4 semesters. One long climb. And at the top of it, a folio you'll be proud to show employers, assuming you sleep occasionally. Now, let's talk about where all this actually happens. Because RMIT didn't just build a nice building. They built an architecture nerd's dream. The Design Hub is 7 levels of studios, labs, and over 250 high-end computers. There's a digital fabrication lab with CNC routers, laser cutters, 3D printers, and, reportedly, robot arms. Yes, robot arms. Somewhere in Melbourne, a robotic arm is currently building someone's thesis model better than they could by hand. And honestly, fair enough. There's also VR visualization spaces, so you can walk through your building before it exists, which is either magical or slightly unsettling, depending on how confident you are in your floor plan. Okay, time for the part everyone scrolls to anyway. Let's rip the band-aid off. 2026 international tuition for MC163 sits around 46,000 to 52,000 Australian dollars per year. Over 2 years, that's roughly $104,000 total. Add a student services fee of up to $373 a year, health cover around $600 a year, and software or materials costs of $500 to $1,000. Because yes, you will need to buy your own model making supplies. And yes, foam board is somehow always more expensive than you remember. Now, Melbourne living costs. Renting a one-bedroom near campus? $500 to $700 a week. Sharing a house with 3 roommates and a suspicious number of dishes in the sink? $150 to $200 a week per person. Add groceries, transport, and the occasional cafe flat white. Because you're in Melbourne now, coffee isn't optional. It's basically a graduation requirement, and you're looking at another $400 to $700 a week in living costs. So yes, it's an investment. But stick with us, because the payoff might surprise you. Before you close this tab in financial despair, know this: RMIT actually wants to make this more affordable. There's the Future Leaders Scholarship, offering 20% off tuition for applicants from India. Academic merit scholarships can knock off another 20% for students from Southeast Asia and beyond. And architecture-specific scholarships like the Bruce Henderson and Kerry Lyon scholarships can be worth up to $30,000 or even $37,500. Translation: that scary total at the top of the screen? It's a starting number, not a final one. Now, architecture school has a reputation. Late nights, coffee-stained sketchbooks, the classic studio culture where your desk basically becomes a second home. And yes, that reputation is earned. But it's not all suffering. RMIT's student union runs over 80 clubs, and the Architecture Student Society organizes design competitions, studio trips, and events where you can meet people who also think discussing facade materials at 11 p.m. on a Friday is a completely normal thing to do. Melbourne itself helps too. It's one of the most creative, multicultural cities in the world, which means your Instagram feed is about to get a serious upgrade. Here's the part you've been waiting for. Was it worth it? Fresh graduates in architecture typically start around 60 to 65,000 Australian dollars a year, with the field showing strong demand. Around 95% of postgrad architecture grads find employment. Not bad for 2 years of late nights and foam board. But the real story is the climb. Mid-career architects in Australia average around $138,000 a year. That's not a typo. That's more than double where most people start. Do the math on that roughly $104,000 tuition investment, and you're looking at most graduates recouping their investment within 5 to 10 years, while working in a career that's genuinely in demand across Australia. Graduation isn't the finish line. It's the starting gun. After finishing your master's, you're eligible for a temporary graduate visa, letting you work in Australia for up to 2 years. And if you're an Indian national, certain trade agreements can stretch that to 3 years. From there, the path to becoming a fully registered architect involves 2 years of supervised practice and passing the state registration exam. Once you're registered, doors open even wider, including pathways toward permanent residency, since architecture sits on Australia's skilled occupation list. So the timeline looks something like this: 2 years studying, 2+ years working and gaining experience, then registration, and potentially a long-term future in Australia. So, could you see yourself walking into the design hub, laptop in one hand, iced coffee in the other, about to defend a design decision you made at 2 a.m.? If this kind of program sounds like your future, drop a comment and let us know where you're applying from. And if you want us to break down another university next, hit subscribe, because we've got a lot more of these coming.